Welcome to part 3 of the Samantha necklace. Okay, we're on the H now. In the last video we finished up with just bending that bottom part of the H there, straightening it up. Now what I'm going to do is grip the last part of the H at the baseline and bend the wire to the right, straightening it, making sure again that it's level with the baseline, which it is. Okay, now I'm going to go into the last A. So I won't say anything about this as the A's are explained in the previous video, or in video 1 I should say. And again, make sure this A is the same proportions as the other two A's. This is the same for any name, of course. Whenever you've got the same letter in the name repeated, make sure that the letters are totally uniform as you possibly can. Comes with practice. And now we go to the last A, looking fine. Okay, backward crimp again. Bend it to the right, level with the baseline. Now a little trick I can show you here. What I tend to, actually I'll leave it till I've finished the name off. Okay, so there's the Samantha. The full name, still quite long, but nice and petite. It's not too bad, it's okay. There is a limit to how long you can make names. Probably about 10 letters is your limit. Anything more than that, it will just look really incongruous on the wearer because it'll be too big. All right, so now I'm going to do the rest of the name now. So what I'm going to do is grip the wire on the right hand side of the A, the doubled up section. I'm going to bend the wire up to the right at an angle of 60 degrees, roughly the same angle as the H when we did that before. Now just judge with your eye the level where the top of the name, where a straight edge from the top of the S all the way across, and then we're going to make the heart at the end here. Little heart just finishes it off nicely. I'm judging it with my eye, and I'm going to bend the wire around like in a semi-loop around the jaws of the pliers, and I'm going to bring it all the way around so that it comes down in front of the name here. Okay, now that should be level with the top of the S. It looks a tad high, so I'm just going to adjust that so that it comes lower. Okay, that's probably okay. Now, okay, there's a couple of ways of doing this. I can turn the name upside down and bend it over, but what I'll do is I'll grip the wire all the way across that top of that heart shape there. I'm going to make a forward crimp. So we come forward, over, top, like that. Look at it from the side. Of course, we've got the gap there, so we have to close that. Easiest to turn the name upside down, use the flat part of the pliers. This becomes the middle part of the heart. Okay, so that's the vertical part of the middle part of the heart. Now we just mirror that same loop, semi-loop we just did. So we bring the wire counterclockwise around, take it behind the name this time. Now you can use both. You can see how you've got the pliers both in both sides of the heart there, so you can make it nice and uniform. Okay, so there's the heart. Nice and easy. Turn the name around. Now we grip the wire where the heart is, just before that angle section there. Now I'm going to make a nice freehand flowing loop right all the way underneath the name. This is what I do as an underline. Also, it helps to strengthen the name because you can see As is, it's a bit bendy, so we want to make it as strong as possible. So I'm just going to do this by hand. In fact, I don't even need the pliers here. I'm going to do this with my hands. I'm going to make sure that it's a nice flowing underline. Now what we need to do is make sure there's a gap. Okay, there's going to be a gap here between the baseline of the name and the actual underline. Probably about a constant 3 millimeters, 3 or 4 millimeters. Okay, and when you're happy that it's a nice underline, you grip the wire here with thumb and finger on the S and on the underline, the whole name. And I'm just going to bring the wire with the left hand, a nice smooth curve, so that it goes behind the name and underneath the initial loop, the very first loop we did. Okay, now you can see what I've done. It's a nice smooth underline. So here we make sure we maintain that nice distance between the underline and the name. I'm going to grip the wire here just underneath the initial loop, and I'm going to bend the wire towards me. So now you can see it's at a right angle, but it's coming towards me. Okay, a bit hard to see, but there we go. Now we can get rid of the reel. We can cut this wire. So we'll cut it, give ourselves a bit of play. Okay, cut the wire. Alright, now you can see it. You see what I've done? Now, whoops. Okay, so now I'm going to move that out of the way for a sec. I'm going to cut this excess off here where the initial loop was. I'm just going to cut it so that it's flush. Use the pliers to flatten it so we've got a nice loop here, flush. I'm going to get this section that I bent towards me. I'm going to thread it right through that initial loop, like that. Now I'm going to grip the wire, and I'm going to wrap it around, holding the name and the baseline, the underline there. I'm going to wrap that wire around the initial loop, like that. You see what I've done there? I've wrapped it all the way around that initial loop. Alright, now this is where we terminate the name. So I'm going to cut the wire, leaving a very, very small gap, possibly 0.5 millimeter between the where the wire comes behind and where the wire wraps around. So a bit hard to show you this because it's quite small. I've wrapped it around, but I've left a little gap, and I'm going to make sure that that's flush, level, and I'm now going to close that. So what it actually does, it just clamps that wire onto the initial loop. So we don't use any solder making these names, it's all just one piece of wire. I call it a crimp, but it's not really. It's more of a squash, actually. Okay, that's nice. That's squashed on there, so it's nice and it's not slipping around, so that's how we want it. Okay, so now the last thing to do is check that it's all nice and straight. And it looks good. Alright, so now with the long name, what I sometimes do is I will bend the whole name very slightly in a curve motion. You might not want to do this to start with because you might end up bending it out of shape. But the reason for this is because with a long name you want it to follow the contour of the neck of the wearer as closely as possible. So it looks, instead of just being a straight line, although it's totally up to you, you don't have to do this. Okay, that'll sort of do. You get the idea anyway. It's sort of like a banana shape. Alright. So, alright, now all that's left to do now is add our chain. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pause the video while I get my chain sorted, and then we're going to add the chain. Okay, so what I've done here is I've got a chain. I've already cut it now and I've put rings on it. So basically when you buy the chain, it'll be one continuous chain. Okay, and it won't be this short, it'll probably be about 18 inches or so. That's a medium chain. Okay, now when you get the chain, then you cut the chain in half with the cutters, and then you put what's called a jump ring through the last link of each side of the chain. So here I've already threaded these jump rings through, and now all I need to do is attach it to the name. So each of these jump rings has a split in it, so it's kind of like a split ring really. Okay, so now I just separate that link there, and actually the clasp is better on the left hand side, so okay, just talk to myself. Okay, now thread one jump ring through the heart, end of the heart like that. Now you can just, what I do is with these jump rings, I actually double over the jump ring, make it a double layer so it's a lot harder for it to come off, and I make sure that it's nice and solid there, like on a key ring. When you have a key ring, you know that it overlaps, so the keys can't come off it. Very same thing, just overlap the jump ring so that it won't come off unless someone really pulls it. Okay, so it's nice and strong. Same with the other side. Just find the split in the ring and really need my glasses to do this. Okay, there it is, found it. Alright, now that goes in the initial loop. Same thing. Awesome. Okay, now there we are. We finished the Samantha necklace, and before